Hello everybody, my name is Punarvas Jaikumar. I am a chartered accountant, passionate trainer. I have trained over 15,000 CA students in a career spanning of over 10 years. I am extremely excited and fortunate to be partnering with an academy for CA Foundation, and I'll be handling business laws and BCR paper. So my dear friends, if you want any sort of updates, anything for that matter, I would strongly suggest you right now go and download the Unacademy app. Just go to Play Store, just type Unacademy and you will get Unacademy learning app, and you can just install the same. And if you want any kind of updates, notes, tips, audio tips, video tips, etc., please join my exclusive Unacademy Law channel. It's called PJ Law. Go to t.me/PJ Law and it'll take you right to my channel, and you can enjoy important notes, audio clips, video clips, etc. And guys, we also have our exclusive CA Foundation English channel where all the educators and learners come together. This is exclusive English channel, so please join our Telegram channel CA Foundation English as well. My dear friends, an exciting announcement. We have already started the CA Warrior batch. This is a fast track batch for CA Foundation December 21 examination. It is going to be exclusively in English. We have already started. Paper 2 will be handled by me, Punarvas Jaikumar, and the quant portion will be handled by my very good friend and a co-educator, CA Neeraj Mahajan sir. You're gonna love his classes. So we will cover very all important topics, and in law we'll cover everything exhaustively, and BCR will do a quick revision. PDF notes will be shared. So as far as law is concerned, it's gonna be from August 18 to maybe, since now exam has been postponed to December, we'll also have it in the October first week or something. And exhaustive analysis of paper number 2. Live classes, guys. It's not recorded. Live classes. There will be quizzes, there will be doubt solving sessions, and unlimited access. You can watch it anytime, anywhere apart from live. I will also discuss the presentation techniques. I'll also give you revision notes, Q&A notes, and specially curated handcrafted color charts for one day before the exam revision. It is going to be almost 60 plus hours. Sir, I also want to check some demo classes if you feel like that. Guys, these classes are on Unacademy Plus. So unless you have a subscription of Unacademy Plus or Unacademy Iconic, you cannot access these classes. Alright. However, if you want some other revision classes, free classes, if you want free sessions, please download the Unacademy app. Go to the special classes section. Get access to our free special classes by various amazing educators, and you will also earn credits while you watch them. So please check out the free special classes option. On that note, my dear friends, let us begin today's session. So my dear friends, today's concept capsule discussion would be on void agreements and void contracts. This is a part of the chapter factors vitiating free consent and going ahead with void agreements as other essentials of a valid contract. So let us discuss the entire thing today. First of all, consideration or object is unlawful, partially legal, partially illegal, unlawful and illegal agreements, agreement in restraint of trade, agreement in restraint of legal proceedings, uncertain agreements, wagering agreements, all that we need to discuss today, my dear friends. So there is a quick recap is what we need to do, revision sort of a thing, because it's of course it's a fast track concept capsule that is going on. So let's see, consideration or object is unlawful. So guys, obviously when the consideration, that is that you are getting something in return, whatever you are getting something in return, whatever you are getting, that is something in return, if that is unlawful, when will it be unlawful? The consideration or object, if it is unlawful, what happens if it is unlawful? The contract would become void. First of all, the contract is forbidden by law. Forbidden means not allowed. Illegal. Agreement to kidnap somebody and ask for ransom The money that you are getting, 1 crore ransom I'll ask, do you think the consideration is lawful or unlawful? 100% unlawful, my dear friends. So what happens? Void. Contract, if permitted, will defeat the purpose of law. Contract, if permitted, will defeat the purpose of law. Contract, if permitted, will defeat the purpose of law. Means what? If I enter into a contract with somebody, and if I permit that contract to happen, then it will defeat the very purpose or foundation of law, is what this void agreement, void contract is telling. The very purpose of law will be defeated. The very foundation will be defeated. For example, I have a property. I have a property. The property I have owned and the income tax department has come to take over that property because I have not paid tax. No problem. They take over the property also now, nothing can be done. Now I want my property back. The reason why income tax department takes over the property is to ensure that I pay my taxes, and if I don't pay, I have to ensure that these people will give me, I need to pay the taxes today, or they'll sell the property, auction it off, and then recover the money. Simple. Now I appoint one agent. I give him money through various channels. I route money, my own money to him, and I will tell him, go in the auction, buy the property and come back and give it back to me. Simple. So guys, in this entire thing, I tell the agent, for all your efforts, I am going to pay you 10 lakh commission. So my dear friends, don't you think so? This commission is definitely, object is unlawful. And if I allow this contract to happen, if the income tax department allows this contract to happen, this defeats the very purpose of law. What was the purpose of law here? So that I will take over the property and ensure that that person will not get any return. I will ensure that that person will not get any return. The property will not be returned to him is the idea behind the entire thing. Idea behind the entire thing is property will not be returned to him at all. But now I am taking back the property in a different form through my agent. If I allow this to happen and I end up paying 10 lakh rupees amount, what happens to the entire contract? It defeats the very purpose of law. Defeats the very purpose of law. Correct? So that's what they are trying to tell. If I permit this contract, it will defeat the purpose of law. Gone. Third one. If I do any fraudulent transaction, we have already discussed fraud in the other concept capsule. Involves or implies injury to the person or property of another. If I tell you, you work under me, you first give me, I have given you money, I have given you a loan. You work under me. You work under me as a bonded laborer for your life. Till your life is over, you need to work. Now guys, this is definitely not allowed. If anything involves or implies injury to the person or the property of another person, right? If anything involves injury to the person or property of another person, anything implies injury, then it is gone. You cannot do any of these things like that. Guys, I am actually affecting a person by making him a bonded laborer. It is abolished by the Bonded Laborer Act. You cannot take away the personal liberty of a person. So I tell you, I have given you the loan, and if you do not return that loan to me, that's it. What happens? You will have to first, until you return the loan, you have to be a bonded laborer. You have to be a bonded laborer. Check out the practical example, guys. Bonded laborer begs for freedom. In this example, Kasi, a bonded laborer, fell at the feet of the visiting Tamil Nadu officials on Wednesday, begging to be rescued. Including 41 others, including children, were rescued from timber units in Vellore and Kanchipuram. I was treated like a slave. We adults were forced to work from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. See guys, 12 hours continuous working. So if you see, this is the thing. I have given you money. In consideration, what you should give? Bonded labor. So this is the example of involves or implies injury to the person or property of another person. Court regards it as immoral or opposed to public policy. Immoral or opposed to public policy. So this is again having sort of, what is immoral? Having a, what do you say, human trafficking wing, child trafficking, organ, what do you say, trade. These are all happening in our country, guys. Prostitution. All these are examples where court will regard it as completely immoral, completely opposed to public policy. So when the court regards certain things as immoral or opposed to public policy, then of course any consideration you pay in these acts would be definitely void. These are all the examples of consideration where the object is unlawful. Partially legal, partially illegal means what? Let us see. Partially illegal, partially legal, unlawful and illegal agreements. What do you mean by this? So guys, I have a pharmacy. In the pharmacy, there are medicines stacked. Fair enough. And I am standing in the counter. I am doing two businesses here, assume. One, of course, buying and selling medicines. One is, of course, buying and selling medicines. And the second one is, of course, medicines. And the second one is, I am also indulging in some drug dealing. Now tell me, from medicines I am earning, let's say, 10 lakh rupees. From drugs, as a separate agreement, 20 lakh rupees. For drugs, I am choosing criminals. Sir, they look like teenage mutant ninja turtles. No, criminals. Separate agreement. Medicines, obviously to general public. Separate agreement. Tell me guys. So the consideration this and this, can't it be separated? Yes. I call it severable. Can it be severable? Yes, it can be separated. It can be separated. So if I separate this with this, now this particular consideration would be void ab initio. Severable. This would be void ab initio. Would be what? Void ab initio. This on the other hand will be valid. Correct? That is what it says. If it is possible to sever illegal part from the legal part, only the legal part will be enforced. But if I cannot separate them, for example, I am an accountant. Working for a real estate company. I am handling both white money and black money, my dear friends. Assume. So I am handling both white money and black money, right? And for all my services, they are paying me 2 lakh rupees per month. Okay. They are paying me 2 lakh rupees per month for doing both black money, white money. Now that be the case, my dear friends. What can I do? that be the case, if the real estate person stops paying me money, the real estate person stops paying me money, can I do anything about it? No. If the real estate person stops paying me money, my dear friends, nothing can be done about it, right? So what can I do? If I go sue him, the court will ask, sir, why were you getting so much money for accountant's job? I'll tell, no sir, I was handling black money also, white money also. Will the judge ask how much white money, how much black money you are handling? And this 2 lakh rupees salary that you are getting is divided into how much part is white money, how much part is black money? No way. So my dear friends, it's called, if the illegal part cannot be severed, severed means cut from the legal part. Illegal part cannot be separated from the legal part, then the total contract is void. Total contract will be void. Now, that's what. Legal part cannot be severed from illegal part, total contract is void. It is possible to sever the legal part from illegal part, enforce the legal part only. I will enforce only the legal part, no problem. Next, unlawful and illegal agreements. Unlawful and illegal agreements means what? If Rohini, Miss Rohini, enters into a contract with Mr. Mayur, Mayur enters into a contract. So basically Rohini has given a loan to Mayur for his business. His business is distilleries, that is wines. He enters into a contract with Miss Megha, who has Megha wines. Point number 1. Second, Rohini also has given a loan. To Mr. Chatur. Chatur has entered into a contract with Mr. Ramalingam. Smart fellow. Ramalingam. Chatur Ramalingam. This is for what, guys? They are doing smuggling activities. Rohini knows why she has given a loan. In the first case, she knows that Mayur is doing, liquor business. That's okay. They have a valid license. They have a valid license. No problem. They have a license. Mayur, Rohini is giving a loan to Mayur, and this is definitely valid license, drinks, no problem. Rohini is giving a loan also to Mr. Chatur. So Chatur Ramalingam, smuggling activities, all done. Now the question is, today government bans liquor trade. Government bans liquor trade. Assume government bans liquor trade here. So when government bans liquor trade here, what happens with Mr. Mayur? This contract now becomes unlawful because government has banned liquor. In this first case between Chatur and Ramalingam, the entire contract is illegal. Correct? In this it is illegal, and in this it is unlawful. One it is unlawful, one it is illegal. So my dear friends, the question is very simple. What is the main contract here? In the first example, main contract is between Mayur and Mega Wines. Here there is a main contract between Mr. Chatur and Ramalingam. What is the secondary contract between Mayur and Rohini? A secondary one called collateral contract. Here what's the secondary contract between Rohini and Chatur? Collateral. Collateral, also called secondary, also called ancillary contract. The question is very simple now. The first contract both becomes void, yes or no? Yes. Both becomes void. First contract both becomes void. What happens to this contract between Rohini and Chatur and Rohini and Mayur is the question. Can she get her money back is the question. The question is, will she get her money back? Guys, in the first case she will get her money back because this was initially valid, later it became void. So this, my dear friends, was a void contract. This, on the other hand, is a void agreement. Void ab initio. So between Mr. Chatur and Mr. Ramalingam, it is void ab initio, whereas between Mayur and Mega, it is void contract. Initially it was valid, but because of some reasons it became void. Initially it was valid, but because of some reasons it became void. So what happens to the collateral agreement? This is valid, you can claim. This is valid, you can claim. This cannot be claimed. Right? In one you can claim, in one you cannot claim. So let us try and understand that. So guys, if what happens to in an unlawful contract? One. Second one is illegal contract. In an unlawful contract, what happens? In an illegal contract, what happens? In an unlawful contract, what happens to the main contract? And what will happen to the secondary contract? Or ancillary? In an unlawful contract, what happens to the main contract? What happens to the ancillary contract? In an unlawful contract, my dear friends, main contract will become void. In an illegal contract, main contract will become illegal and void. Main contract will become void in unlawful. Illegal, it will become illegal and void. What happens to the collateral agreement? In an unlawful contract, it becomes again here valid. You only told no here. Can you claim the money? Yes. Here guys, it is void ab initio. Since it is void from the beginning, this also will be void. Void ab initio. Since it's void from the beginning, that also will become void. On the other hand, here if it is valid, this also is valid. Secondary contract unlawful, it is valid. Secondary contract illegal, it is illegal and void. Both are illegal and void. We were discussing what happens to illegal agreements, what happens to unlawful agreements, right? So, in first case it becomes void, in the second case it becomes illegal and void. So, what is this finally? In the main agreement what happens? Unlawful, void. Main agreement, if it's illegal, what happens? Illegal and void. Secondary or collateral, if it's unlawful, it is valid. Illegal, it becomes illegal and void. Very, very simple. So if you read this, unlawful agreements. In unlawful agreements, collateral agreements are not at all affected. In unlawful agreements, collateral agreements are not affected at all. Collateral means side by side. In illegal agreements, what happens to collateral agreements? In illegal agreements, collateral agreements are also tainted with illegality, means they also become illegal. What happened now? They also become illegal, tainted. Tainted means what? Dhaga. Correct? It gets tainted with illegality. So law discourages people from entering into illegal agreements. Law does not allow you. So that's why. Now guys, if two illegal people, you think about this only, Mr. Chatur and Ramalingam both are into smuggling activities. Chatur does not get money from Ramalingam. So can Chatur go and sue him in the court of law? Assume he stupidly goes and sues him in the court of law also. Either he should not have done all that, but like a fool, he goes and sues him in the court of law. Who? Chatur sues Ramalingam in the court of law. My question is, who will be in a better position, Ramalingam or Chatur? Both are guilty. Guys, when both are guilty, obviously, defendant only will be in a better position. If Chatur sues Ramalingam, Ramalingam will say, boss, you also committed this illegal activity, no? Why are you blaming me? You also committed the illegal activity. So, in cases of equal guilt, my dear friends, defendant will be in a better position. Moving on, yes, agreement in restraint of trade is void. Agreement in restraint of trade. When two people are there, one person cannot ask the other person not to work. You cannot come to me and say, sir, don't work here, don't work in this area. If you work in this area, I will sue you. Why? Arey bhai, why? Can I enter into a contract with you telling that do not work anywhere in India for the next 10 years? Why? Indian constitution grants me personal liberty, grants me freedom of choice. I can do whatever I want. You are nobody to do so. You are nobody to tell me what I should do and what I should not do. So any agreement in restraint of trade, restraining you from carrying out a valid trade or profession, would be void. So agreement by one person restricting him from doing something which is close to his heart, that would be void. Exceptions are there. Agreement with buyer of goodwill, trade combinations without monopoly, service agreements with employees. Now tell me guys, I am working in Infosys. Can Infosys tell me not to work in Tata or any other company? Yes. Is that agreement in restraint of trade? No. Because I am dedicating my entire day's time there and they are exclusively giving me salary. They are exclusively giving me salary. Since they are exclusively giving me salary, it is going to be difficult. Service agreements with employees. Service agreements with employees. All that definitely would be a problem. So you cannot say agreement in restraint of trade with what? You cannot take this logic and you cannot take this argument everywhere. Definitely service agreements with employees, the employer will definitely say, boss, you cannot work elsewhere when you are working for my company. Valid. Agreement with a buyer of goodwill. Agreement with buyer of goodwill. Agreement with buyer of goodwill. So guys, the seller of goodwill, there is some MTR. You may have heard about MTR Foods, my dear friends. MTR Foods is pretty famous here in South India. There are various items that is available, multigrain dosa, vermicelli, your sambar powder, rava idli, dosa powder, chana masala, all these noodles, gulab jamun. Now MTR, my dear friends, MTR is actually owned by Maya Brothers, and MTR, the brothers, let's assume they had a partnership firm, or let's assume they had a business. They have a restaurant business in Bangalore, and they have a food division. Now the restaurant business in Bangalore, they are continuing. The food division, assume they sell it to a Swedish company. In fact, they actually have sold it to a Swedish company. Who is taking care of the food division? Swedish company. Now assume, guys, the Swedish company is taking care of this MTR food division. And now think about it. Can you name John Sambar Powder, Curtis Chana Masala, right? Then Casper Chili Powder. Who will buy? Nobody will buy. You need to have an Indian name. That's the reason why I am telling, when the Swedish company has bought the name Goodwill. Now tell me, guys, is it fair for the Swedish company if they ask MTR brothers, sir, we have bought your name, we are doing the business in that name now, you don't use the name from now. Is that valid? Yes or no, my dear friends? Is it valid? Very simple. So, agreement with buyer of goodwill, yes, you can have a buyer of goodwill. Service agreement with employee is not restraint of trade. Agreements under Partnership Act. Partnership Act we have already finished, guys. Admission of a partner. You can ask the partner not to work elsewhere. Retirement of a partner. You can tell the partner not to carry on similar business elsewhere, provided the restrictions are reasonable. We have already discussed this in Partnership Act. Trade combination without monopoly. Trade combination without monopoly. Monopoly should not happen. You cannot abuse your dominant position. If monopoly does not happen, if you have a trade combination, steel manufacturers of India come together and they can form an association. The chartered accountant, Karnataka state can come together, Karnataka State Chartered Accountant Association, they can come together for the betterment of the fraternity, that is okay. But the moment they come together and start dictating terms by actually giving, by saying that no, you should purchase at this amount only, you should sell at this amount only, this would amount to a problem. This would amount to a big problem. So, agreement with buyer of goodwill, trade combination without monopoly. What is monopoly? Abusing your dominant position that you have, right? You have a dominant position, abusing it. I'll give you an example. There was a movie called Roadside Romeo. This was produced, my dear friends, by Yashraj Movies, which is the #1 name in Bollywood, at least at that time. It was the first ever animated Hindi movie which voiced the characters. Saif Ali Khan and all those people were there. It was the first ever collaboration. It was the first ever collaboration with whom? With Disney. First ever collaboration with Disney. So, when this movie was produced, that time dominant position was Yashraj. He told all the distributors, no other movie should come when Roadside Romeo is being released. That time it was not the time of your multiplexes. It was a single screen theaters that time. I'm talking about 2004 or something, right? I think it came in 2004 or something. So 2008 or something like that. So the thing is, that time was the time when the multiplexes were simply slowly coming, but it was not like full blown like the way we have now, right? So this Yashraj, Aditya Chopra, went everywhere and said, I will not allow you to distribute any other movie but Roadside Romeo. At the same time, my dear friends, there was one more movie called Toonpur Ka Superhero. Toonpur Ka Superhero had Ajay Devgan and some comedy characters also. This was an animated movie. He also wanted to release at the same time these movies. But because of the monopoly that he had, who? Aditya Chopra, the abuse of dominant position, the dominant position that he had, he abused it by telling that you cannot touch other movies. So when Ajay Devgan went and said, boss, you please give my movie also consideration, they said no. Guys, isn't this valid? Or isn't it void? 100% void. You cannot do all these things. So any combination in this example, it's a combination between distributors and movie producers and directors, etc. Creating monopoly is definitely agreement in restraint of trade. It is not allowing Ajay Devgan to run his movie. In India, guys, we have a very, very strong law against unhealthy competition, against, what do you say, domination, against tying in arrangements, and that is called Competition Act. When you come to CA final, you will study it. So under Competition Act, you cannot play around with any of these things. It is invalid. Under Competition Act, this provision will come now, whereby they say that, boss, no, you cannot do any of these things. Got it? Trade combination without monopoly. With monopoly, danger. Without monopoly, okay. If it doesn't create a monopoly, that's state association, Karnataka state and all that, this is under agreement and restraint of trade, which is void. Agreement in restraint of legal proceedings. What do you mean by agreement and restraint of legal proceedings? Any agreement restricting enforcement of rights and agreement which curtail the period of limitation. So guys, one person A is fighting with one person B in the court of law. Can A's lawyer go to B's lawyer and tell him to lose the case? No. There are many witnesses who are going to tell against A. Can the lawyer go and bribe them and ask them to turn hostile? Means don't tell the entire thing, don't tell the truth, don't come to the entire meeting, don't come to the court that day. No. Can I go to the judge and then pay him some money? No. These are all examples of restraint of legal proceedings. Restraint of legal proceedings. Nobody can stop your legal proceedings from happening. Nobody can stop legal proceedings from happening. Legal proceedings from happening. Restraint of legal proceedings. Also, it is called as stifling the prosecution. Stifling the prosecution. Restraint of legal proceedings, stifling the prosecution. Third one. Interference in the course of justice. Interfering in the course of justice. First is restraint of legal proceedings, second stifling prosecution, third one interference in the course of justice. You cannot interfere in the way justice is going on, my dear friends. You cannot stop that from happening, is what this particular section says. Let's see this. Agreement restricting enforcement and rights which curtail the period of limitation. Period of limitation, there's something called as the law of limitation. I simply call it LOL. So in LOL, they say debtor-creditor relationship can maximum go for 3 years. In the sense, you need to recover your money or at least send a notice to recover your money within 3 years. If you don't do it, then it's a problem. 3 years. So my friends, here legal proceedings, can I tell them to go and say, pay money and then say within 3 years only you do the deal, you don't do the deal, you please don't put a case on me within 3 years also. Let's ensure that the law of limitation 3 years will be curtailed. Curtail means cut or stop. All these I cannot do. Agreement restricting enforcement of rights, agreement which curtail the period of limitation, etc. Nothing can be done. These are agreements in restraint of legal proceedings. But my dear friends, exceptions are there. First is restricting jurisdiction. If I lose my wallet in Bangalore and I go to Kolkata, I lose my wallet in Bangalore, but I realize it when I go to Kolkata. Can I put a case in Kolkata or should I put a case in Bangalore? Obviously, guys, I should put a case in Bangalore. The Kolkata police will say, sir, this is not our jurisdiction, please contact the Bangalore office. Can I tell that person in Kolkata, the policeman, boss, you are restricting my jurisdiction? Doesn't make sense. I cannot tell him you are restricting my jurisdiction. That would be void. Right? So, jurisdictional issues will be there. Entire geographical area will be divided into various parts and there will be jurisdictional issues. So, when there are jurisdictional issues, I cannot restrict the jurisdiction. Because there is restricting jurisdiction, I cannot say I am restraining the legal proceedings. There is a big exception, restricting jurisdiction. Similarly, when the court case is going on, I can stop that court case and go into a concept called arbitration. You would have heard this dialogue, out of court settlement. My dear friends, court also has many things to do. Criminal cases they will hear, but civil cases they will say, if you guys only can go out of the court and settle and come back, I will be very happy. Out of court settlement. Civil cases generally can happen out of court settlement. That be the case, my dear friends, tell me, if rather than going through legal proceedings, court mechanism, if I am actually settling the issue via arbitration. Arbitration is where the two parties will be there, they will appoint one judge sort of a thing, judge sort of a guy who will understand the problem from both the sides and give a solution. It is governed by the Arbitration and Conciliation Act. If that be the case, I am restricting, if the disputes arising are referred to arbitration, does it mean I am restraining the legal proceedings? I am stopping the legal proceedings, yes or no? Obviously, no. Then anything where the meaning of the agreement itself is uncertain, I have no clue what is it, uncertain. We had seen the concept of certainty of terms before, certain and uncertain. Certain, capable of being made certain, that is certain and uncertain here. Certain, capable of being made certain, not capable of being made certain, all these things. Uncertainty may relate to the subject matter or terms of the contract as well. So, if anything is uncertain or not capable of being made certain, then it is called as an uncertain agreement. So, these are the agreements, I will come back to these two later. These are the agreements which are opposed to public policy, like first, trading with the enemy, committing a crime, obviously these are not allowed. Interference with the course of justice, I just told you now. Stifling the prosecution, I told you now. Restraint of trade discussed, restraint of legal proceedings discussed. 1 done, 2 done, 3 done, 4 done, 5 done, 6 done. Other things we have to discuss. Creation of monopolies we have seen. Anything which is monopoly, which creates a market for a single person, is opposed to public policy, that cannot be done by any stretch of imagination. Any creation of interest is opposed to public policy, which is immoral, unethical, not possible, that is O. Right, in the next concept capsule series, we will have to understand most important wagering agreements. and contingent contract. So we can do a concept capsule on the wagering agreement and wagering agreement and contingent contract to keep the ball rolling. So that will add the continuity to the entire scheme of things. So guys, as I told you, without fail, please follow me on unacademy.com/Punarvas Jaikumar. If you don't know what to do, go to any of my videos and check out the link here. Punarvas Jaikumar sir's Unacademy profile. Once you click on that, it will take you here where you will see all my followers. You please follow me and you will see my special classes. Free classes. To enter the class, you just need to put the code PJ Sir Law. If you want a discount, you have to put the code PJ Sir Law. If you want this, you have to just put the code PJ Sir Law. Very, very, very simple, my dear friends. Extremely simple. And also, if you see here, any combo subscription or intermediate plus, and we have the iconic for CA Foundation and intermediate, all you need to do is just pick a plan. And once you say pick a plan, in this referral code, all you need to do is PJ Sir Law. And magic, you will get 10% off. So this is all you need to do, my dear friends. Very, very simple. Thank you so much for watching this video, my dear friends. Please, please, please subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell icon, because any important video released by me or any of the educators on this CA Foundation and Unacademy English channel, you will get a notification. Please like this video, share it among your friends, and also please leave your comments in the comment section. If you want to watch any special class of mine on the Unacademy platform, the code is PJ Sir Law. If you want to buy any product, the code is PJ Sir Law to get a 10% discount. Please download the Unacademy Learners app, and in the special class you can also get all the notes as well. You can download. On that note, see you until next time, my dear friends. Love you all. Bye, my CA warriors. Cheers.